Diplomacy isn't working. That's what more than 50 U.S. diplomats say about President Obama's Syria policy. The extraordinary dissent filed by career State Department officials reveals a stark internal divide over the president's handoff approach to the bloody civil war in Syria that's killed more than 400,000 people. Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen reports tonight on how the president is responding to this rebuke from inside his own administration.
With ISIS and Syria high on the agenda for President Obama's closed-door session with Saudi Arabia's Deputy Crown Prince, the White House faced a quiet revolt at the State Department, where 51 officials used the so-called dissent channel, a product of the Vietnam era, to warn President Obama that his Syria policy is not working and to urge him to hit the Assad regime there with airstrikes. The status quo in Syria, said the dissent cable, according to the New York Times, will continue to present increasingly dire, if not disastrous, humanitarian, diplomatic, and terrorism-related challenges. The White House couldn't say if Mr. Obama read the critique of his policy. The State Department, while confirming receipt, declined to discuss the contents of the cable, saying it's classified.
I think it's an important statement, and I respect the process very, very much. And I will probably meet with people or have a chance to talk when we get back.
President Obama has long ruled out U.S. strikes against the Assad regime, even as he has said for 5 years that Assad's days are numbered. Asked about the State Department dissent, the Kremlin, which has propped up the Assad regime, warned that such strikes could plunge the region into total chaos.
The most important thing is to prevent the collapse of the country.
At the same time, Pentagon officials confirmed Russian Sukhoi Su-34 strike fighters twice yesterday bombed Syrian rebels trained by the Central Intelligence Agency near the southern Syrian city of Al-Tanf, an area new to Russian operations, with the second strike occurring after the U.S. had used an emergency hotline to demand Russia halt the operation. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter said the hotline hadn't been used, quote, professionally, and called the Russian strikes, in the mildest of rebukes, problematic.
The Russians initially said that they were coming in to fight ISIL, and that's not what they did.
Experts said it's unprecedented for so many signatories to file a dissent and for such a group to advocate the use of force. Hannah Gurman is the author of the Dissent Papers, the voices of diplomats in the Cold War and beyond.
In general, the dissent channel has had little to no direct impact on foreign policy. And that's what some of its critics have argued. This is a way of containing and quelling dissent within the State Department.
Administration officials said they don't know how this dissent made its way into the pages of the New York Times, but that no investigation of that is presently underway, and also that none of the people who signed the dissent will face any reprisals. Chris?
James Rosen reporting from the White House. James, thank you.